Hey everybody, welcome back to No Drummer News. It's Adam22 here with your man AD. Let's get right into these stories. So first things first, according to recent reports, Kanye West cheated on Kim Kardashian during their marriage with a famous singer alleged to be a household name in their own right. On Donda's Hurricane featuring The Weeknd and Lil Baby, Kanye allegedly admitted to cheating on Kim after the birth of their second child, rapping, "Here I go, acting too rich. Here I go with a new chick. And I know what the truth is, still playing after 2 kids. It's a lot to digest when your life always moving." And now more details regarding his alleged infidelity have surfaced. According to The Sun, a source close to the family exclusively claims Kanye cheated on Kim with an A-list singer. At the time it happened, Kanye was mainly living in his bachelor pad in Hollywood because it was closer to his studio and he wasn't going to go home to Kim and a newborn baby when he'd been partying late in the studio. The insider continues to allege Kim wasn't feeling herself. The breastfeeding, the extra weight, the baby in the bedroom, the early morning exercise routines and juice diets, and Kanye was out late a lot. It was tough on Kim because she just given birth, was struggling, and thought it was all because of how she looked. It put a lot of pressure on her at a time when she was her most vulnerable. Previously, The Sun detailed that Kanye cheated while Kim was struggling after the birth of their son Saint. According to the report, Kanye's inner circle knew he cheated on Kim and he even confessed to sex with groupies. The source goes on to say that on his Saint Pablo tour, he was flipping out in front of his team, confessing to sleeping with girls behind Kim's back. He even said he'd been fucking groupies and went into insane detail about the sex sessions. It was very graphic. His language was unreal. Another insider told Page 6 that the new chick mentioned in Hurricane's lyrics is not a nod to Ye's fling with Russian supermodel Irina Shayk, who he reportedly split from last month. If you look closer to the lyrics, he was referring to his infidelity during his marriage with Kim, even after 2 kids. So I guess like nobody should be surprised that a rich rapper at the height of his fame and celebrity was getting some ass on the side, but you notice that these things tend to take on a different tone when there's like a newborn baby at home and the mom is just sort of dealing with it and the dad is still living his young life. So, Kanye, like, if you really think about it, he kind of tried to tell us about this on the lyrics to the song. Now they got an insider sort of filling in the blanks and letting us know that it's not just rap, but also at the same time, is anyone really surprised that Kanye is getting some ass on the side?
I mean, in recent times, it seems like their marriage has been real rocky and, there's been reports that Kim was wanting to leave him for a long time. So, I mean, I can see him dipping out and getting some hanky-panky, you know what I'm saying?
The one thing that kind of stood out to me is just that Kim Kardashian was like really going through it with feeling like her body didn't look good enough and stuff. Probably a ton of people are looking at her like she's this like definition of womanhood and that she probably doesn't feel insecure or have to worry about what her man is doing behind her back or whatever. And, I guess as a reminder, too, that she's just like anybody else. So she goes through it the same way as anybody else. I guess this kind of squashes at least maybe some of the rumors about them getting back together, which I had seen going around a bit. Didn't they, renew their vows or something during his concert?
I'm not sure, but she has been wearing the Donda merch. Yeah. I mean, that whole American Horror Story look and stuff, she's been rocking it. I know that was through that shit.
So if your girl left you, you'd stop wearing her merch?
I mean, I'm a little more petty and toxic, so I probably would be like, fuck off. But
probably burn it in the front yard and post a video on the ground.
You have to burn it off.
Burn it off.
Next story. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta star Maurice Fayne, aka Arkansas Mo, was sentenced to 17 years in federal prison for conspiracy and wire fraud related to a Ponzi scheme and for bank fraud and making false statements to a financial institution regarding a fraudulent PPP loan application. Mo Fayne, the sole owner of Flame Trucking in Georgia, applied for a PPP loan through United Community Bank back in April 2020, asking for more than $3.7 million. The Department of Justice alleged Maurice Fayne falsely claimed his trucking business had 107 employees and an average monthly payroll of $1,490,200. Prosecutors said he used the money for personal items and funded a lavish lifestyle during the pandemic with money from the Paycheck Protection Program, which was intended to help employees and small businesses hit hard by COVID. The feds say more than $1.5 million of the loan proceeds went towards improper purposes, with purchases like an $85,000 custom-made jewelry, including a Rolex presidential watch, a diamond bracelet, and a 5.73 carat diamond ring for himself, $136,000 to lease a 2019 Rolls-Royce Wraith, $907,000 to start a new business in Arkansas, and $40K for past due child support. Other improper purchases included $50,000 for restitution owed in a previous fraud case, $65,000 in cash withdrawals, $230,000 to associates who helped him run a Ponzi scheme. The sentence should serve notice that the FBI and our federal partners will investigate anyone who misdirects federal emergency assistance and marked for businesses who needed to stay afloat, says Chris Hacker, special agent in charge of FBI Atlanta. We won't tolerate anyone driven by personal greed to pocket American taxpayer money that should be going to those who need it. After he released from prison, Mo Fayne will be on 5 years of supervised release in order to pay restitution of $4,465,865 to the victims.
You gotta explain to me how this dude could be this fucking stupid, because like how do you think you're not gonna get caught with this? It's almost like people thought like, oh, this is a new crime, like it's a new thing you can do because we've never had this sort of money going out to people, and people just like their brain was incapable of processing the fact that like, oh, we do still have law enforcement who's probably going to be looking into where this money's going, and if you spend it on a bunch of watches and all this other bullshit, that they're coming for you. Because I mean, the one thing you can say, this guy did it big. All the people we know who probably scammed, you know, $5, $10, $20,000, I don't know if all of them are getting caught, or if this is more like, oh, we're gonna get some big fish to send a signal out to all the little guys, but seems like probably one of the worst crimes I could think of. And this guy's gonna go to prison for 17 years to think about how bad this crime was?
I think 17 years is a little excessive for a nonviolent crime. For that, I mean, give the man a fine. I mean, give him the 5 years or anything like that. And then two, it's just like, it's nonviolent. I think, you know what I'm saying, he should be stripped of a lot of stuff, but not 17 years for that. But I mean, on the flip side, at least the nigga took that much money and he paid child support. I don't know nobody who would sit there and do that.
But now he has to do 17 years, I guess, and then he has to come out and pay back $4.4 million to the victims. But I've watched enough documentaries that I know how this actually goes, is that he's gonna get out, they're gonna put him on a payment plan, they're gonna say how much money you have, he's gonna say none, and they're gonna say, okay, well, you have to pay like $100 a month to the victims of the people that you took this money from, which I would assume is just gonna take, you know, the rest of his life, and he's still never gonna even pay off even a tiny chunk of it, which that in and of itself really just makes me think like, wow, this is probably one of the worst crimes I've ever seen anybody try to get away from, especially when you consider that like he's famous enough that he's on Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah.
He probably had a lot of other opportunities. I don't know, I never even heard of the guy in my life before this, but I mean, he probably had some opportunities. And now he's just gonna have to go sit down for a long ass time. But I think you're right too. Like, how do they not let him off after a couple years, 5 years, etc.? Like, it just seems like, you know, we know people have like shot people and they come back from jail after like a year or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't really seem like it's gonna actually be that long.
Yeah, man. Hope you could pay it or not sell that ass.
Yeah, Mo. I don't know what you're thinking, Mo. YouTube, do us a favor, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back real soon. Appreciate y'all.